Join Drs. Savanah Craig and Ronnetta Sartor as we navigate life beyond graduation. Real conversations about forging our own paths in our early years, in our careers. There's a reason it's called practicing dentistry. All right, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Graduation with Savanah Craig
and Ronnetta Sartor.
Today, we're going to talk about return on investment. You know, our biggest asset is our skills and our hands and our brains. So how do we figure out what's worth spending our money on to grow this whole thing? Ronnetta, we are CE junkies and self-help. I don't know if that's the right word for the...
Oh, yeah. We love those kind of books.
I know, for the types of books we read. So I feel like we are always investing in various ways in ourselves. How do you think about this topic and what you invest on for yourself, for your practice, for your team? Because you've got a couple of plates spinning these days.
I think it's an all-encompassing topic, right? And it's not just from a dentistry perspective, but from a life perspective. And it's a way that I've tried to live my life, even like as a high schooler. So, once I got to undergrad or even in high school, there was never an opportunity that I was given in those phases of my life that I said no to.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to learn as much as I could and absorb as much as I could from those experiences. In undergrad, even like volunteering at free dental clinics and doing an internship at a dental office. Like I had my little notepad and was writing down all the things. And I wish I still had that notepad, but it was like my journal of everything I learned that day and asking all of the questions. And, if we're going to keep going with the timeline, once you get into dental school, for some people, it's like, okay, this has been my goal for so long. But once you're in dental school, if you have student loans or even if you don't have student loans, someone's paying the tuition, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting the best return on your investment while you're in dental school too. And for me, I would have some classmates who, they wouldn't take full advantage of the clinical time that we had or the instructors that we had. But do I think I could have taken more advantage of it? Of course. But I think for the capacity that I had at the time, I took full advantage, and not only of like the dental standpoint, but the social standpoint too, like being in different clubs and organizations and just becoming well-rounded. And then the same thing kind of rang true. But I think as you accomplish the dream of becoming a dentist, it kind of flipped back to, okay, I'm mastering the dentistry now, but also how do I get the biggest return on investment in myself? So now what that might look like is lots of self-care. Making sure that my body can go. So going to the chiropractor, getting a massage, making sure that I'm doing something or multiple things each day to give back to myself as I'm giving so much to my team, family, friends, patients. What's your perspective? What has that looked like for you?
I'm so glad you brought up yourself, investing in yourself from a health perspective, because when we were talking before we started recording, that we were talking about dental CE and coaching, and as we started going, I realized there are other investments in myself that I'm making. The gym membership, the dang massage chair keeps coming up.
Well, the good part is you're getting your return on investment.
I am on that
because
chair.
It keeps coming up. So the level of happiness that this massage chair has brought you, it was worth the money.
It was worth the But yeah, and I investing in your relationships and your people and all of that is really huge right now. I still have close friends from high school and college, and we're all over the country. So trying to carve out time, that's a resource that you're giving. It's not always money, right? So time and effort into continuing those friendships and investing in that way is super important too. I think we both, after graduating dental school, flipped really hard into that self care, which is awesome because we did not have that time in dental school. It was funny. I've had same chiropractor when I've been in Columbus, and she was in a group practice and now has her own practice. So we've sort of grown together, and she did this. Basically, it's like a posture scan and showed from she has my records from the very beginning, I don't know, maybe D2 year to now, and how much we've improved. And I used to have to go multiple times a month just to not have headaches and neck pain. And now we're going every 5-6 weeks. And she's like, clearly that you're able to put more time and effort into caring for yourself by strength training, and I'm not bent over a desk as often anymore as I was in dental school. So those different types of investments in myself, not just dentistry wise, I'm really glad we brought that up too.
Yeah, we joke about your massage chair, but earlier we were talking about my return on investment, and it's delayed gratification with my garden, right?
Yeah.
Because I planted sweet potatoes, I don't know how long ago, and I was beaming when I was talking to you earlier about how yesterday I got to harvest them, and I got so many of them, and so it's a
And you're
return
going to
on
share it with your
investment.
people.
I am, and it's exciting. But I think we also have to think about the things in our life that bring us the most gratification. And sometimes it is dentistry, seeing the before and after, or seeing someone who's unhealthy. It can be dental wise or overall health wise, becoming healthy. Or it could be, you know what? I did all those things and that made me super happy, and I felt gratitude about it. But also I came home yesterday and I picked my sweet potatoes and now I get to share them with someone.
Yeah.
It could be that.
Yeah. You're more than just a dentist. And so we definitely have to think about the investment in every aspect of our life, because it's super easy to just pick one lane and not look at it holistically.
And I think it's to your point of a statement you made earlier about us loving continuing education and us loving self-help books and, you know, biographies or autobiographies of people who have done great things in life. Because I feel like it's not ever any of those books that I read that I don't take something away from to help improve my life. And by improving our lives, we have an even bigger return on investment because we're able to give to others. The same
It's
thing rings true for continuing education, too.
just a mindset of growth, and you're not going to take everything away from everything. So just finding those ways to enhance your life and the life of your patients and your people, and I think it's all good things. But switching gears to the big money topics, the dental the dental investments. What are some of the ways you've invested in yourself and in your practice?
I would say it started as a resident and it started as an associate. I would read any book I could get my hands on about leadership and communication. And my thought process was, as a resident and as an associate, if I'm able to grow those areas within myself, that once I'm a practice owner, I'll have a leg up, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. Um, or I'll be more confident about it. So I would say definitely reading in books is one of the main things. The next thing is just continuing education too, to kind of make sure that I'm staying on the forefront of the changes that are happening in dentistry and how those will help make our patients' lives better from a oral health and overall systemic health standpoint. Um,
How do you, how do you, I'm sure this has changed, but how do you pick your CE and knowing what's going to give you that return? There are courses you can take that you can implement Monday morning. There are ones that take more time. How do you know? I mean, there's so many CE courses. How have you sort of narrowed down what you're going to do each year, or what's the time for the investment, I guess?
so I think early on it was me filling the voids of what I felt I lacked in my
Sure.
education from dental school,
Mm-hmm.
or what I wanted more of when I left my residency program. Now it has transitioned more so to, if a patient comes in with a a sign or a symptom and I'm stumped about it, right? Now I'm like, okay, well, I would love to get more education on this,
Sure.
because I would not only be able to help this patient, but I know they're not the only patient that's going to walk through these doors that has, that going on. So right now, that's more so where it is for me. And so, if it's a specific area, and it could be right now, because I recently became a Dawson Scholar. So it could be some things that I got a good foundation on, um, doing the core curriculum, that now, and I'm like, okay, now I'm ready for more because I have more questions.
Yeah,
And once I get those questions answered, I'm better able to serve those patients. And for me, going to continuing education and learning more, that's very gratifying to me. So there's a return on an investment there, because it makes me more confident. It makes me more happy and more compelled to be able to help patients. But I think the bigger return on investment is what I'm able to give back to my team and give back to the community of patients that I serve.
for sure. What about sort of a lesser known area of education that you've been experiencing is coaching? That's not something I feel like I learned about in dental school. It was now that I'm out a little bit, you find out that people have business coaches, people have whole practice coaching. And I, as a new grad, surely did not know anything about that. So, what's that experience like?
So I think it's a different world, right? So the concept of it is, we went to school to become dentists, but most of us never learned a whole lot about the business side of dentistry. And
Mm-hmm.
now dentistry is changing so much because we've got social media, right? So everything is about the experience and engagement with our patients. And so the thing that most of us love is to be in the chair actually doing dentistry. Um, but while we're doing dentistry and working in our practice, coaching helps to work on our practice, to make sure that we have the right systems and processes and people to help carry out those things that will help ultimately grow our practice, but not so much just grow our practice, but having the systems and processes in place to make sure that we're able to exceed expectations in um, providing, excellent, complete health dentistry, as well as doing it in a way that gives the patient experience and, gives the patients the confidence in us as a team that we're going to be able to meet their goals. So it's been very eye opening. Things that you don't think about, like what are your new patient numbers, how much treatment are you planning, and
Mm-hmm.
what's your treatment acceptance
Mm-hmm.
numbers, which that brings a whole realm of other things that in school we don't learn about. Okay, well, how do you talk to patients? Do you talk to every patient the same way? And that's
Right.
not to say like that we're discriminating against anyone or anything like that, but if you have a patient, you hear the saying, treat people how you want to be treated, right? And so sometimes you have to tailor your verbiage to, the patient that's right in front of you. For example, how treatment is presented to you and I by a dentist might be slightly different
Mm-hmm.
because the way we receive that information will be different. And so a lot of it's more so the soft skills of dentistry that you don't think to like look at, that the coaches are very helpful with making it apparently and abundantly clear that it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Treat people the way they want to be treated, not the way you want to be treated.
Right. Yeah, you got it right. I said it wrong.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it has having the coach has or different coaches or different programs have allowed you, like, has it freed up mental space to do the dentistry? Because I think people are afraid that, oh, the coach is going to take so much time, or I mean, these are big money investments, but do you think it's free? I mean, mental space is huge.